And there we go.
Ah, we're here. Look, we've got a whole new layout tonight if you've just joined us for this video, because we're running through Ben, the smartest man in the room, and the... What are your mechanic skills? You are the mechanic of the crew, in fact, Ben. It's very fitting tonight.
Well, that sort of, yes. I have engineering skills, which are things I sort of theoretically have in real life as well, though I don't have any actual skill with tools or anything. Just intellectually, I'm a good engineer. In theory, I'm a good engineer. I can't like plug things in or do plumbing, but yes, that is. I play Misha Renkov. He's an engineer. He's a science officer. He's a bit of a cynic and a bit of a goof off, and he's constantly terrified of everything.
He's a fine figure of a man, and he is the one half of the central love story of the entire game.
I wish you'd stop saying that.
It was Gilly that suggested it to me. I can't take it from my mind anymore. And you say like about plumbing, but as Superhan says on Peep Show, plumbing is just water Lego. That's all it is.
Plumbing is terrifying. Those pipes contain like 1 trillion gallons of water.
And 1 trillion bacteria and poos and things. Oh, no. Good point. Well, hopefully we won't need to do any plumbing this evening. One person who shouldn't need to do any plumbing at all because their skills are better used elsewhere is Shay Hawkins, of course. Gilly, tell us a bit about her.
Yeah, Shay is, well, she perhaps thinks she's a lot cooler than she is for a start. But she is the pilot, so I guess she's kind of cool. And she's also got a little side hustle as ship nurse. She can give you a blue paper towel for any of your injuries or medical needs. So yeah, that's Shay.
That is Shay. She'll turn sharp corners while flying to get coffee over your lap, and then she'll be able to give you the anti-burn ointment afterwards.
Yeah.
She's the whole package, is Shay. And she has little stilts as well for getting around the ship.
She does love her orange stilts.
She does. Are they with you at the minute, or are they back on the Nakuru?
The last I think we saw from the stilts, Klassen had them.
Oh, he's probably sold them.
I haven't been reunited with my stilts, which is sad.
No. Sad times indeed. You're going to, for this whole session, you'll be rolling at a -1 modifier until you're stilts. Which in this game is not good. Not good at all. The man who could maybe make a deal with someone to get you new stilts if needed, of course, is the last man we could talk about in the crew. And that is the liaison officer, Liam Deturi, which is you, Ewan. Tell us about our bald but ponytailed hero. Our top hero, I think it is.
Yeah. Well, in fact, I think Liam Deturi is the only member of the crew with the handlebar mustache, sideburn, top knot combo that is also a liaison officer and does a little bit of science if need be. I think
it's a niche, but he fills it well.
Yeah. I think the one thing we do on the channel is be so specific that it must be true. Quite often.
Can you tell us one secret about Liam Deturi that no one else knows?
No,
we won't tell anyone. No,
you don't know. What can I say about Liam? He's left-handed. That's not a secret, obviously. But the secret is he's not actually left-handed. He's ambidextrous.
Whoa! I've got to rewrite a lot of things. He just never
lets on.
Wow. Of course, the hard thing is that you've only said that in front of myself, Gilly and Ben, not myself, Shay and Misha.
Yeah. Well, no, that's the good thing, because, now nobody knows. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a secret.
Exactly. Exactly, Jarrell. He's got all the skills. He's multi-talented. Right, so I shall give us an introduction, and then for those that might be new to the stream, drill's an old hand. They know the score with how everything works. But for anyone else, as we sort of make rolls and things, I'll talk about them the first time we do something, rather than give a whole wall of rules, because our crew know it for the most part. Most of the basic rules, anyway. Have you all bumped your pressure down, by the way? That was Gillian Ben, wasn't it? Because you had a long sleep and your pressure drops.
Yeah.
Yes, I think we did actually. Yes, my pressure's gone. Yes.
Yeah. We're all chilled now.
Yeah, all completely relaxed. I'm down to pressure level 0 again.
And the thing is, you should be chilled. You know why, dear friends? Because you are aboard. That's a good segue, and I've ruined it by saying it. You're aboard the Antilles station. You're finally off your beloved Nakuru, and you are there as your ship is being refueled and restocked and refilled, ready for its next mission. Last session, you went in and chatted with the corporation liaison officer, if you remember, Adjo Mensah, who welcomed you in, including Rosa, who you rescued from your last mission. And she's been sent off back. Maybe you'll never see her again, but at least she's alive, and that is the main thing. Mensa, after welcoming you on board and chatting, and sort of updating you with your pay and so on, told you that it'd be just a few hours wait before refueling. So the three of you and Klassen headed to the down the ship to the cafeteria, where you grab some food, differently coloured food, some nice brown food. I think there was some green food. There's definitely some colours involved. They all tasted the same, let's face it.
Mm-hmm.
And while you were there, you noticed that there were some miners there. There was a big mining ship docked outside in space. And they were there waiting, enjoying their last time on another ship before their mission that was going to be years and years from. That was their whole career. Their 25-year career was pretty much going to be this next mission. So they were enjoying their last few hours, hanging out, eating a bit of food in the mess hall, playing pool in the lounge, and so on. Now, one of these miners wasn't so relaxed, and he slipped a slip of paper into Shay's pocket as he passed. Once he'd gone, Shay got it out and shared it with her crewmates. And it was a note asking them to meet him, which they did. They went through to the lounge and found a quiet corner with some books, and met with this miner, who pleaded with them, who bargained with them and asked them to take him to the mine they're going to, AMC 222. He doesn't want to go on his long mission, and he says he's got a brother on AMC 222 who will be able to sort of do the paperwork, replace a dead person maybe with him. He was making a lot of promises, a lot of hope to you guys. It seemed very much that the crew were undecided about whether to trust him, but they decided that the man to ask would be Klassen. At this point, Klassen had just won his game of pool he was playing with the miners, triumphantly winning back an hour of time. You see, in this future with the Maitland Corporation, the crew do not get paid in money, they get paid in time. And once their 25 years racks up, they're retired. They're given a big retirement and a place to live. So every hour is worth something. The deal that this miner offered them, 100 days to get him to the mine, which is still how many days? About 101. No, hang on. 101 days to get 80 days. I'm lost. 80 days to get to AMC 222. It's got to offer 100 days for safe passage there to each of the crew members. And so we start with the miner gone, our crewmate sitting in the corner with the books, and Klassen, a triumphant Klassen, tossing his cue down onto the table, smiling at the other miners who he's defeated, and heading over to the crew. And that is where we will start this evening.
Liam will look over to Klassen as he comes over and say, "Hey, Klassen, you want to be careful where you're chucking those cues around. If you break one, it'll cost you way more than an hour to replace."
The is what it is. I make money. I make money out of the wazoo. Don't you worry. I've got 18 years on me. I can afford an hour or two if need be.
Wow, it's an expensive. It's an expensive way to live, but fair enough. Do you want to? Are you joining us?
Sure, why not? We've still got a little bit of time left to spend. How are you guys doing? You enjoying this this cultural paradise?
Yeah, cultural and paradise. Yeah, that's great. It's new at least compared to being stuck in the ship.
You sort of learn to get used to getting what you can from new surroundings when you spend so long on board one ship. When you spend so many hours with Evan stuck in 55 meters by 23 meters, you learn to enjoy what you can. And if that's brown food surrounded by miners, you take it. You know,
Refreshingly little goop on the walls.
yeah. Well, there are a lot of crew here to sort of keep it clean. It's a very small area they've got to keep clean. I wouldn't want to go round the back where they're sort of loading. I hate to think what conditions all our food and water and that are stashed in. Best not to think about it.
Don't worry though. I think we managed. Correct me if I'm wrong, Luke. We managed to secure some of the good stuff.
We did. Got some
Excellent.
brown.
Ah, it's my favourite sort. You know me, I like a bit of brown. Well, you know, I told you about there's sort of there was a Rupert that I talked to when I'm here to get some luxuries from. I managed to get some bits and pieces too, so they should be loaded on, and hopefully we should be able to enjoy some of the fine life over the coming weeks. But when I say fine, don't get your hopes up too high. But you know, fine for us.
Very good. We can wash it. We can wash it down with that crate of good whiskey.
Oh,
And I managed to sweet talk the retired liaison officer into. I'm sure there was something about a crate of some goods, the good alcohol that he kept in his desk.
Klassen sort of eyes you and then sort of smiles and sits back and laughs. He's obviously taken to you. He can see his replacement from a mile off.
Hey, look, as Misha said, there's no goop here, except for the food.
But some of it's brown.
Exactly, you get used to it, you know. Wow. So anyway, who was that knucklehead you were talking to? You're not making friends and influencing people, are you, while you're here?
Oh, we were just talking about the books, you know, the classics.
He looks down at the table, and as if you remember rightly, one of the books there was 50 Shades of Grey. And he picks it up and holds it and waves it at you, Shay, and he sort of winks at you. He says, "Oh yeah, one of your favourites, is it?"
I've been known to read.
How about you, Wrinkle? You don't take me as much of a reader.
I can read, but you know, I'm worried if I read too much, I'll sort of wear out my welcome.
Well, the miners are saying that you guys are doing that already. To be honest,
Been nothing but charming to the miners.
know what they're like. They're insular folk. They don't like outsiders too much, you know. They have their ways, and we're just the gophers, you know, taking stuff to and fro from them, the delivery boys. And girl, he says, looking at Shay.
It's funny you should mention taking stuff to and fro, and Liam will look around, make eye contact with the other two, pause for a moment to see if they've got any reaction or if they want to weigh in. And if he doesn't get anything, he'll look around. How private is it in here?
So what you've got at the minute, you folk are in the sort of more to the corner. So in the corner, there's sort of a round table and some chairs, and there's a couple of bookshelves. There were a few books pulled out, which you had out there. And then across the room, we've got the pool table. The miners, there was a bit of a crowd forming when Klassen was playing. But because it's very much become miner versus miner again, the crowd's sort of got a bit smaller again. There's just like a few of them there, a couple across the room, sat at another table just hanging out. But it's pretty quiet in there. Most of them seem to be in the mess hall now.
He'll lean in and he'll lower his voice and I'll say, someone we met earlier offered us a fair sum of time to transport something that's not on our manifest to the next. Sorry, Luke, what was the name? Because Liam would remember.
AMC 222, the asteroid mining catch 222.
Yes. To transport something that's not on the manifest to AMC 222.
If it's one of those Ruperts, you can F right off. Quite frankly, I'm not taking another one of them on the ship. We've got enough with Evan.
No. I think it's smallable. Is that sort of thing doable? Is Evan a problem with that sort of thing?
Roll for me.
Straight to Maitland, right?
Roll for me. So we're going to do a roll here. You're trying to sort of get Klassen to sort of, I guess, read between the lines a bit with you. We're going to roll a charisma check. So each of the crew have 4 attributes: charisma, agility, strength, and education. And each of them will have a 4 in 1, a 3 in 1, a 2 in 1, and a 1 in 1. They will add that to a d6 and try and beat generally an 8, sometimes a 7, sometimes a 9. They also get to add, if you can see at the top of the screens, they've got a +2 or +1 in certain skills depending on their crew status. So if they can argue to me, or if I believe that their job, like their crew position, helps them in this moment, then they will also be able to add that. Now, in this case, because it is sort of talking and sort of sharing something, Liam can probably use his liaison officer skill with Klassen as well. So it would be liaison officer plus his charisma, add 1d6, and that would give you his total.
Firstly, Liam, just to be clear, Liam doesn't want him to read too much between the lines. But just he doesn't want to drop anything straight off the bat. He just wants to gauge how Klassen feels about that whole prospect without telling him, giving him any idea of what it is.
Okay, well, roll with that. Charisma still works for that. It's sort of seeing where they're at.
Do I get science as well? Because we were just talking about robots.
You can have science instead of liaison if you want.
No, that's fine. But thanks. That's pretty good. That's a 6 plus 4 is a 10.
Klassen sort of leans back in his chair for a minute, sort of breathes out through sort of his, through his teeth. Then he leans in a bit closer and he puts his sort of arm on the table. And he says, with Evan and other Sams we've had before Evan, and with different crewmates I've had and so on, there's always ways that you can stash things in a ship. There's always a place. Every ship has a hidey hole, a cubby, a blind spot that a Sam misses, in their checks while we're in long sleep. Where there's a will, there's a way. Unless you're talking about like a buggy or something, most things are doable.
See, that's what I said. That's what I said to these two. I said, Klassen knows. He's been around.
Are you blowing smoke up my ass?
No, you just told me, and I've agreed with you.
Go on then. Go on. I'm interested. You've got my attention.
And he'll look over to the other two, and I'll say, what do you think?
Hypothetically speaking, if the cargo we're talking about was actually a person, do you think we'd still be able to arrange it?
That requires more. You see, if it was a box of something, however licit or illicit, you could stash it in a cubby. Sam's very much stick to the plans of the ship. Humans for decades have found ways around it. Even big stuff you could stash almost behind things in boxes. Sam's, they're not going to spend that many hours, but a living person. It'd be doable. Are you thinking? You're talking for now, right? You're talking for this trip. 84 days. 84 days. So he's going to need food, or she, or they. Don't see many women here. They need the chance to stretch their legs. Evan has times where he goes offline, for hours at a time to recharge. And as long as you didn't trip, you'd have to stay in one space. It'd have to be the cargo bay. Or the camera on airlock. It'd have to be cargo bay, and they'd have to stay in that room for 84 days. If someone was desperate enough, it's possible, I guess. It all depends on Shay. Like Evan, right? He's the very definition of a company man. He's got your back while the company's interests are in it. But never forget, never let it go out of your mind that if you go against the company, he will totally rat you out.
So it's risky. We knew that anyway.
Yeah. It's risky. It's doable. It's easy enough to download Evan's records. It's open. It's meant to be. It's a failsafe for the crew. We can see what he's done on previous trips, like what his patterns are, and he will stick to the same patterns. He'll spend at least half the day charging in security, doing his checks. Spend at least 3 hours leaning over looking at Misha while he sleeps. Checks on the cargo bay, checks it all stowed away. Check the airlock. Check up front of the bridge. His skills aren't as good as ours, but he is sort of very much, can do a bit of everything,
Maybe if Misha falls asleep in a bit more of a provocative position, we might get a bit more free time.
I actually have a concern as well about the fact that we'd be talking about the only person on our ship who wouldn't be asleep for most of this journey. If he did decide to come out of the cargo bay and was able to overpower our Sam, wouldn't that put us in an incredibly vulnerable position?
That would put us in the most vulnerable position. There are fail-safes on the ship, but if Evan cannot see to it, then there are ways around it. There are things that, like, twice every day, Evan has to hit sort of a code in for the ship to keep running. Sort of, almost like checking in with Maitland,
Hmm.
But that still would give someone 8 hours to do what they need to do, potentially, if they timed it right.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you think?
I have a question that might play into this. Theoretically speaking, if you'd done something like this before, how much would you be expecting?
Are any of you gamblers? He sort of looks around at the three of you.
I've been known to have a flutter.
Shay, do you tend to back long odds or short odds?
Long odds.
Long odds. So when that comes in big.
Hmm.
Have you ever put your house on a long odds?
No.
And that's the thing. You have to balance out what the odds are. If you think the risk outweighs the reward, then it ain't worth it. It's all about what the reward is. It's all about what you can get. It's all about time. A box of whiskey, a bit of drugs for miners, shoved away in a hole somewhere. A couple of weeks is worth it, That's absolutely fine. It's money for nothing, at the end of the day. But something risky, you need a lot more. Shay, as a gambling woman, this deal that seems to be before us, what do you think it's worth?
Well, we've been offered 100 days and I would be chuffed with that.
100 days.
100 days is a long time on ship.
Mm.
There's a lot of potential death going off what we've seen so far.
How many people are getting 100 days? All 5 of us?
Each, believe me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. Believe me if I'm wrong as well.
I need to make a roll for that.
but I think they said each crew member.
Yeah.
And I'm presuming that Evan wouldn't want theirs, and we could share that out between the rest of us.
He wouldn't be including Evan.
No, he wouldn't. Evan doesn't, I think, have a day count. He just gets recycled at the end.
He's a crew member, though.
What did I tell you about Evan? To never forget?
Can't remember.
Pure company.
He's a company person.
He's not a
a
crew man.
Maitland
He's a
man.
company man.
He's not a man at all. He's a kitchen appliance. But he's a kitchen appliance owned by Maitland. Yeah.
Yeah. Any deal wouldn't involve him. What would he do with 100 days anyway? It wouldn't.
But no, all I'm saying is we were offered 100 days per crew member, and he's a crew member, right? So we take the 100 days and we share it out between the rest of us.
You can fight over
Small
this.
potatoes. As well.
Small potatoes.
Yeah.
Ah, but I haven't had potatoes in years. I've almost forgotten what they taste like.
They cost years.
They do cost years.
Mhm.
Carla, if I know Carla, I've been fine with her for actual time awake together a couple of years now. She's very much a what I don't know can't hurt me kind of person, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
She'll take the 100 days. You just don't involve her.
Ask no questions.
Yeah. If she can sleep with her conscience, you know what I mean?
If I were a
Yeah.
better person, I'd probably ask if he gets caught, what happens to him. But I don't care that much. If he gets caught, what happens to us?
Well, we'd be expected to finish the mission we were on, of course. And then we'd be expected to fly back to Titan. And then they would probably take from us the 340 days we've earned already in this mission and the other 250 days in doing the next restocking mission. And that's at the very best.
Yeah. And against that, we're being offered 100.
100 each.
Bearing in mind that, all being well, we're going to get 80 something while asleep on this trip.
Yeah.
With our normal level of risk rather than elevated levels of risk.
Exactly. Do you want me to go and talk to him?
Before you do, it strikes me there's a third option. We could take the 100 days, or take the half payment, and then half on completion. Keep him in the airlock, and then accidents happen mid-trip, and no one needs to be the wiser about anything. He was never on the ship, as far as any of us are concerned.
Liam Deturi. I never took you for a cold-blooded killer.
I'm just talking about accidents. She's an old ship. I've almost died several times already.
Oh, that's your own incompetence, generally.
Just look, you can weigh up all the options. Is all I would say. It's not my go-to response, but it's there.
I think I can find a place. I think I can find a way that he could probably be stashed in the cargo bay with just about enough information to be able to stretch his legs around within the cargo bay, with enough supplies to keep him alive for 80 days. The question I'll leave to you guys is if you're happy with that, or if you want to leave him, if you want to space him. If 100 days are coming my way, the 100 days are coming my way. If it's not, I've got a lot of games of pool to win.
No hard feelings either way, though, right, Klassen?
I have hard feelings with everyone.
No more than normal.
hard feelings, yeah. You guys are the closest to family I've ever had. Let's put it that way.
Wow. That may be the saddest thing I've ever heard.
I know. It's like calling you a brother.
What does that make Evan?
My sister-in-law.
That's the saddest thing I've ever heard.
Was it that guy that was talking to you a minute ago? I assume. There's no reason you'd be talking to miners otherwise, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
Okay. We're going to be flying out in like literally under an hour. So why don't I go and win another hour playing pool? Then I can come back and you can decide whether I'm going to go and talk to him, you're going to go and talk to him, or whether we're just going to lead him along until we flush him out into the expense of space. All right?
Yeah, okay.
He tosses the 50 Shades of Grey at Misha into his sort of chest and stands up just to sort of, the black is being potted by the miners at the table. And he's like, right then, who's going to give me 2 hours? And marches over to join them, leaving the three of you alone.
Glance down at the book. I think I've heard of this. Steinbeck, right?
Close.
Right. So, we got a decision to make. Arguably, 2 decisions, depending on how sociopathic we want to be, but at least 1 decision.
Yeah.
And there are 3 of us. We can always pretend we live in a democracy.
Mm.
So, Shay, do we take him or not?
I say we take him. We seem to have Klassen on board. He seems to know the ins and outs of these kind of things.
Yeah, it's true.
It's time for not doing much, really.
Well, as little as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Liam, what do you reckon?
It's a tough call. I mean, it's not doing anything that we're not doing anyway, barring a few untruths or possible awkward conversations. But it's also 100 days worth versus, what do we say, 340 plus 250 plus the 87 that we're going to get for the trip anyway.
Yeah, we're probably risking 600 or 700 plus.
I'm happy to do it, and I'm happy to help a guy out, but I'd be more comfortable if we were getting a bit more.
So would I. But
I'm sure we will.
I'm on board with the idea. How about we let Klassen see if he can negotiate a slight bump in the days?
Yeah, I mean, on the flip side, he also did say, what did he say? Like a crate of whiskey would be worth like a handful of hours or something.
Yeah.
Something along those lines. So, scaled up, it doesn't seem... It's a lot better than that. I don't know.
Well,
You know what? If I was 340 days away from checking out, I'd say no, but I'm not by a long shot. So let's do it.
at this end of our careers, it's a risk worth taking.
Sure.
Bagsy,
I mean,
I'm not cleaning up the cargo hold afterwards.
After the 80 odd days,
Because
yeah.
he's going to spend 80 days in there with no access to, ship's facilities.
The worst thing is we can't even get Evan to do it.
We really can't.
Not without some elaborate staged play.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
At that moment, you hear a cheer from the table as Klassen has seven-balled the miner, who, of course, as is tradition now, has to pull his trousers down and walk the entire lap of the table, as is barroom tradition.
It's canon.
It is canon. And Klassen wanders over again, looks at the three of you, and then looks to Shay, who he's clearly decided is the most competent, because that is canon.
It's fair.
Says, have you three decided?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're going ahead.
You happy with the number of days?
If you can
We could
twist his
always-
arm a bit, but that's not a deal breaker for me.
Okay. I'll go have a word with him.
Do you need any backup?
Yeah, come on, Shay. You come with me.
Okay.
Leave these two to their reading. And he sort of leads you across the room and out, if you so wish. As you leave, the miner, who was the one that wasn't walking around without his trousers on, the other one was sort of pulling them back again. One of them shouts over to the two of you. He says, "Either of the two of you want to lose an hour playing?"
No, agility 2.
How about you, Sideburns?
Go on then.
Ah, good man. Good man. That's what I like. Come on. It's an easy game. You played before?
No. I know the rules. I haven't played much before. Basic physics, right?
Yeah. Hit this stick into that ball, into the other balls, and either get the colourful ones or the stripy ones down the hole.
Yeah.
Right.
1 hour?
Yeah, why not? 1 hour. Okay.
Break me in gently.
Okay, we're going to roll an opposed roll, please, for agility. So each side rolls, adds their agility and position bonus. Science is not counting.
You sure it's not education, Luke? Working out the angles.
No.
I mean, it is fundamental physics. The game of pool.
Number one thing on agility is
Spin,
hand
angles.
coordination. Don't you try it. It's agility.
Ah, Luke, you're killing me.
I'm not Ben. I'm much stricter on these things. Right. So roll that with your D6, please.
Yeah. That's a 5. Plus 1 is a 6.
Okay, so your break works well. It sort of splits the pack quite nicely and leaves him in an awkward position. He plays his shot and is unable to put the ball, putting you in the advantage. Then there's a nice spotted ball available for you at this point. Let's make another opposed roll. We're just going to do a few over the course of the game to see the flow of the game.
Yeah. Cool. Still sticking with agility.
Yes, it's an agility game.
That's a 2 total.
A 2 total.
Yeah. That's the one.
You manage to pot a couple of balls, but then your luck runs out. Your flow runs out. You out of position, and he sort of smirks at you and quickly pots 3 very nicely. It looks like it's going very well, and his sort of friends are starting to jeer at you and sort of make all the big boy talk. And then he runs a bit too far on one, and he misses quite a simple one into the middle. And he turns to his mate and he's like, "You put me off there. I got this guy. Come on." And then he turns to you and he says, I saw you talking to our boy earlier. Is he all right?" We don't normally mix with just outside of the pool table with delivery boys like you.
What difference does it make whether it's at the pool table or discussing some literature?
I haven't seen him read since I've met him. Didn't even know he could. He can barely sign his name.
I'm pretty sure he was getting some lessons off of our pilot. It was trash anyway. And he'll call out, "Hey Misha, show him that tacky book."
I hold it up with a sort of look of complete confusion on my face. Do you know what's in this?
You see the picture on the cover, right?
I mean, it's ridiculous.
And he'll turn to the miner and he'll say, "It's probably good for spending a few years out in the mines by yourself, surrounded by you lot."
What do you mean by us lot?
Well, and he'll gesture around. Loads of other men.
And you got a problem with that? You got a problem with being around a load of men?
I don't have a problem with that, but it's not everyone's preference.
But are you saying there's people that might have a problem hanging out with us? What's wrong with us? Are you saying you got a problem with what's wrong? You got a problem with us?
I'm hanging out with you, aren't I?
Take your shot.
Some pool.
Take your shot. Roll a jug. Hey, Anime Jugs! Greetings across Europe. How you doing? Merry Christmas week Eve, in fact. You're doing well. It's Christmas Eve. I've been to Poland a couple of times. Sorry, Anime Jugs is Eastern Europe. I've been to, is Christmas Eve as big a thing for you guys as well? Because across a lot of that part of Europe, Christmas Eve is the day, isn't it? Pretty much. It's very big. It's like all the breakfasts and dinners and that. It's very nice.
Lot of carp gets eaten. Lot of carp.
Oh, lovely. Okay, agility roll.
Luke, you put me in a position here.
I have put you in a position.
What's behind the pocket I'm shooting to?
Behind the pocket?
Yeah.
The groin of one of the miners.
Liam will take the hardest shot he possibly can with an aim to bounce it out the back of the pocket and towards the miners.
Okay, then I'll pull back my contested roll and make a straight roll, please.
Did you say straight or strength?
Straight agility. Oh, do you want to beef it?
Yeah. I mean, you've got to hit it. You've got to give it some welly to get it off the table, right?
Go on.
Yeah. Excellent. That's a 3 plus 3 is a 6. It's not that great.
No, you ping it as hard as you can, and
although I am trying to make a ball liaise with his crutch, so I don't know if that counts.
Full action. You hit it really hard, and it pings into the back of the cushion, and it does jump up. But sadly, your agility is almost too good for it, and the ball springs up in the air and falls down into the pocket as a perfect, super strong pop. And the guy behind it's like, whoa! Oh, that was close.
And Liam will just calmly walk around the table and go for his next shot without saying anything. Somewhat frustrated.
The guy says to you, he says, so what's it like being a delivery boy? Anyway.
It's alright. You see some places. outside, bit of space, different planets, different ships.
How many years of your 25 do you think will be hard work? Oh, and how much is just spent sleeping?
Oh, I don't know. Going off the last 300 and odd days worth of 25 years. It's hard to tell. We slept for a little bit, but we've done some. I wouldn't say it's hard work, but we've done some stuff. Asteroid showers when you're out on a spacewalk ain't nice, you know.
Roll a charisma with liaise, please.
Oh, you set me up for it, Luke. Thanks. It's a 5 plus 4 is a 9.
Yeah, the guy sort of looks mildly impressed at you for the first time. You've been out in dangerous places then. Had your moments of danger.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it's hard graft. We're not, we're not doing what you guys are doing, but we've had some close calls.
Respect. Fair enough. Roll agility, please, for the game. Anime. Yes. So the way it worked out, came up. There was an app. There's an online AI thing, not one of the big ones now, but one of the ones you could do photo stuff, which I did for all of them. Ewan did his own Liam using Hero Forge. It's Hero Forge, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was.
Klassen's came out terrifyingly like someone's driving license photo. It just looks like a bloke. Everyone else is slightly ethereal, and just Klassen just came out just like your neighbour, which is just terrifying. But it's the luck of the draw, really.
Yeah, I was too narrow-minded to go with whatever it gave me. I got a 6 on the dice, plus a 1 is a 7.
Hey, John! John's in, look.
Hey, John.
Greaser in this. How you doing, man? You okay? Absolute pleasure to have you with. Anime Jugs came back, John, despite our nonsense in Tony and Rudy. That's the joy. Your potting is picking up. You potted that one ball, you banged through another couple without the guy getting back to the table. When you finally miss one, he's feeling the pressure. You've only got like one more on the black to go, and he totally scuffs an open pot, and his mates jeer him, and he gets a bit frustrated at it as he leaves you on the penultimate ball, I guess. He says, so anyway, why was our boy chatting with you? It definitely weren't about books, was it?
Yeah, you say it wasn't about books, but it really was. He wanted. You're right. He didn't know how to read. Don't tell him I told you, because he's embarrassed, right? And we might be delivery boys, but we care about not embarrassing people too much. He did give us some good information. I think what was it AMC 226 is bad mining. 117. It's not good either. He told places to avoid. He gave us a bit of tips if we're dropping stuff off. Try not to take jobs. Go into those. I'm sorry if any of you weren't there. Go into those shells. Now, I think that's canon, Luke, because I've got it written down on a piece of paper.
It is. You've got the numbers right. I'll need to stare them from. Sorry, Anime Jugs, I had a sharing problem. I was sharing a black screen and it went a bit wonky for a second because I put my mouse in the wrong part of the screen. How dare I? Yeah, those are some tough places.
So he gave us a bit of knowledge. My crewmate tried to give him a bit of knowledge, but I don't think it's going to take a lot longer to teach him how to read. You know what I mean?
Do you think our boys cut out for it? We're not certain on it,
Cut out for reading?
Mining. I know he can't read.
No, listen, I don't pretend to know the first thing about mining. I'd back you and yours, and he'll gesture around to all the others. You look like you've done your fair share.
We sort of nod at each other, and the guy says, "Yeah, it's true. It's true. Come on, finish me off." And as he sort of looks back to the table, you see him sort of nod at a couple of his mates who vanish off at that point as you lean back over the table to take your shot. Could you roll an agility, please?
An agility. It's a 5 + 1.
Well, his luck is getting no better as you manage to hit the penultimate ball in. Lovely. Miss on the black. Terrible. But he misses an open shot, leaving you a simple black to roll in. It appears that his game is not as good as his talk. And he sighs and he sort of says, "Well, I'm going to be doing 25 years hard anyway. What difference is an hour? Well done, you've earned it." Sort of he asks for your details so you can sort of ping the hour across. There's a way of doing things with your details that you can just sort of almost like swipe it across onto your card.
Cool. Thanks.
This is how you played a good game. Good luck with AMC 222. Spare your mining boys a thought from time to time when you're swanning around, when you're retired in like 8 years' time or whatever.
You got any buddies over there you want me to say hi to?
222? Nah, none over
messages.
there. Nah. Just bear in mind, right? Miners don't really trust the delivery boys. You're there to drop the stuff off and just leave us be. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we know that if we're going to get to know you, we might get on with you, but it ain't worth the while most of the time. So don't expect any warm welcome. But I would say don't take it personally, but do. Because we all think we're dick.
Most of the time, right? And I'll shoot him a finger and stroll back over to Misha.
Ah, beautiful.
You did well there.
Yeah.
Some good rolls. Lucky rolls, I should say. I didn't plan them.
We're going to jump to Gilly, if that's okay with all of you.
Yeah.
With Klassen as they leave the room and head back out to the dining area, to the cafeteria, and you see him sat awkwardly on a table with one other guy, and they're both sat just drinking a cup of coffee, tea, something dark and brown. And Klassen says, "Well, you spoke to him before. Lead on."
Okay. I will lead on. And is there any other tables in there other than this one?
Yeah, so there's like half a dozen tables in there.
Okay.
There's a few have a different number of people on, but there's a couple of empty ones.
Okay, I'll sit as an empty one and sort of give the miner the eye as I stroll on past.
Roll charisma for me, please, to see how good your eye is.
It's not going to be very good, I tell you that now. Oh, okay, that's a 1 + a 1, so 2.
As you give him the eye, you sort of wink at him as if you've got a mix between a bit of grit in your eye and a bit of a twitch.
Classic.
Classic. Smooth.
Classic Shay.
He sort of looks at you a bit confused and almost half turns his back to you to keep talking with his mate.
Okay, I will, just carry on and sit behind him somewhere on an empty table.
Class says, that's your boy, yeah?
Yep, that's the one.
Why did you give him that look? What's up with you?
I was trying to give him the look, the conspiratorial wink.
It's more like a constipational wink.
Well, I can't help being this charming.
Ah, that's true. You're still more charming than me, even doing that. What's next? What do you want to do? How do you want to go about it?
I don't know. I don't feel comfortable while his mate's there.
Okay, I can deal with that. And he gets
Cool.
up and he gets up and he wanders over, and he you sort of see him go to the table, and he sort of whispers something in the ear of the other person. He sort of looks at him a bit confused, and then nods, then gets up, and the two of them go over to the Rupert that he's talked about in the corner, in the dispensary, the one that does all the like the special trading stuff.
Yeah.
And you can see him sort of introducing the miner to the Rupert, leaving the other guy alone.
Okay. I take it the other guy's not going to approach me, so I better go and try and approach him, hadn't I?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I will. So I will walk up to his table and say, "Hi, about what you asked us earlier."
Yes. You giving it some thought?
You've given it some thought. Is 100 days the best you can offer?
How are you putting across this? Are you looking to do it in a charismatic, friendly way? Are you trying to strong arm him? Like,
I think Shay's not very charismatic, so she's going to try and strong arm him, I think.
Okay, so
It's the best approach.
So do that sentence again for me with suitable strong arms, voice mannerisms.
Is that really the best you can do?
Oh, Luke, you're so strict tonight.
I'm feeling it, man. It's because I'm on the wines now. I don't normally.
It's because you're the what's the GM?
The
Sorry.
general monitor.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
one.
Nerd.
The milk monitor.
Could you roll your strength, please? It'll be a opposed roll, so he's going to roll his as well.
Yeah. Oh, that's a 2 plus a 3 is a 5.
Which actually is enough because he's not the toughest person out there. He's a far. It is important to me, and I'm kind of burning bridges by the minute here. I think that some of the
Yes.
guys
Yeah.
up to me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. My heart's bleeding.
How many humans are there on your ship?
There are 5 of us.
Roll for me. This is where I ask you to roll one more time, and your strong arming. Roll a strength, not opposed, just a flat strength for me, please.
Okay. That's a 1 plus a 3 is a 4.
Okay. In which case, I can give you maybe. If I gave you 120 days in total, that's 600 of my days split between you all. So that's. And I feel like that's worth it. 120. I can do 120 for 5 of you.
Okay. I would have to double check with the rest of the crew, but I think we'd be willing to. But you know this isn't going to be an easy ride, don't you?
It's going to be months. If there's a, I'm happy, like I say, to stay quiet, stay in the dark, whatever's needed. It's worth it, you know.
If you say it's worth it, then, well, it's your choice. But we're willing to help.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
What was your name again?
What's my name? My name's Reggie Crankshaft.
Okay, Reggie.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Let me know. I know that you guys are leaving soon, but I can literally, I can travel in as I am. Do you know what I mean?
Okay. I'll tip you the wink when we're ready to leave.
Is that what that was? I thought you were having a stroke.
That's
Nice.
He says, I do appreciate it though. I only make fun because I'm nervous.
yeah. I only make it look like I've got grit in my eye when I'm nervous.
I feel like you and I could be the start of a wonderful team.
And I will look around the room to see what Clarkson's doing.
Clarkson, I'm Top Gear. Klassen has sort of walked away from the Rupert and the other guy, and he's coming back over, and he says, "Well, looks like I've just introduced someone to the magical world of smuggling. Anyway, we good?"
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, I'm just gonna go to the loo, and I'll come through, find you whenever.
Okay.
So, are you going back to the other two? Gilly?
Yeah, I'll wander my way back to Liam and Misha.
So as you go through, you go past the other two guys that are coming out from the pool. You pretty much meet each other in that corridor as you go through, and you find a relatively quiet room now with a very smug-looking Liam sat with Misha, who appears to be flicking through the 50 Shades of Grey book.
You're both looking very pleased with yourself.
It's weird reading and becoming less informed as you go. It's a strange feeling.
I just won my first game of pool.
Oh, nice one.
He did.
How much did you win?
Just an hour. Not just an hour. An hour.
An hour. An hour's not bad.
Which is weird because we're waiting here, like, give or take an hour to leave, right? So it's almost like no time has passed at all, yet I've still aged. He sort of wanders off a little bit into the distance at that point. Somewhat existentially. Anyways, I was just telling Misha here, I don't always talk to people in that manner. But you know, the first thing they teach you in liaison officer school is how to talk to people from different walks of life. So it's an important skill. How did you get on?
Well, I managed to squeeze us all an extra 20 days each.
That's good.
Yeah.
It was the best I could do.
Hey, it's better than not 20 days each, definitely. Any little extra we can get away with, I feel more comfortable with. Given the stakes.
And if we get lucky, and Klassen seems to think we can, then it could be a very productive trip for us.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, precisely. We've got to remember, we're getting 80 odd days on top of whatever we're getting. It's worth more than the trip.
Yeah.
By some way. Okay. Is Klassen around, Luke?
Not at the minute. He hadn't followed you through, Gilly.
So what's the next step, do you think?
Well, as you say that, at that point, you do get a ping through on your radio. So I believe some of you have a radio, and some of you had the sort of you had some things implanted in you, like your card and things like that. But ping
Yep.
comes through to Liam, of course, as the liaison man, from Evan, and he says, "Dituri, they've finished restocking the Nakuru, and we are ready to go when you all are. Gather the crew together, and we'll all go."
We'll do, Evan. Tell me, did they drop off the extra supplies that I managed to secure with the what was the job title down here, Luke?
The
old
corporate liaison office.
with the corporate liaison officer.
There does appear to be a box with your name on it. Someone dropped it, but I think it's okay.
Okay, well that's all I need. Thanks, Evan. I'll round them up.
Okay. The sooner we go, the sooner we get there.
I can't argue with the logic.
I mean, it's not always true.
No, certainly not in orbital mechanics. Right.
Look, he's showing
Okay.
off his son.
Time to line it up. So, in an ideal world, I'm figuring the best thing to do would make sure Evan's a bit busy when we're, when we head back in.
Yeah.
If a couple of people go aboard and make sure that he's fussing around in the long sleep or crew areas or medical or what have you, and then ping a message to say now's good to bring the person in, we can probably sneak him in.
If distracting Evan's a game, I think you'd be pretty good at it, Misha.
I was hoping to
Given
avoid
past
that.
experience.
Right.
You know
okay.
he's got a soft spot for you.
I mean, I know that's true. It just makes my head hurt to think about it, but it's fine. I will try to distract the Evan. That's what I will do.
Wonderful. Okay, perfect. I mean, I guess I should actually round up everybody else and not just leave it to chance that they're going to make their way back to the ship. But that shouldn't take too long. If there's anything else, what else do we have?
You're good to go. Everything is ready to roll. You just got to get you back, I think.
Okay. Well, unless you guys have got any other plans, I'll start wandering around and gathering everyone up. It's Clarkson.
All right.
Not Clarkson.
I will
Clarkson.
make my way to the Nakuru. I will queue up a message on my communicator to say something like all clear now, but not send it. So I can send it very quickly when I need to. And I will head aboard.
Cool. You're greeted aboard by Evan, who's very pleased to see you. Ah, Renkov, how was your relaxation time?
It was not too bad, thank you. I
Wonderful.
ate some food and spent some time chatting with people. It was fine.
To enjoy the taste of food, that would be a true. You know the story of Pinocchio, Renkov.
I've heard of Pinocchio, yes.
If I were to be a real boy, I would love the taste of food across my lips. Is it everything that the writers say it is?
Well, actually, I don't see any reason why you shouldn't be able to experience it. Truthfully, food, eating food feels like being beaten repeatedly over the back of the head by some kind of large iron bar. I'm sure we can simulate that for you.
You speak so strangely to me, Renkov, but I'm interested. I will need to purge, of course, immediately after, or I will fall apart, quite frankly, with
Yeah.
food entering the wrong parts of my body. But I shall humour you. Let us go to the mess together. We've got a couple of minutes while others come along.
That sounds like a good idea. I'll wander with him to the mess, and when I get there, I'll immediately start putting the tea on.
Fantastic. Shay.
And as I do, I'll hit the little send button to say, all clear when you're ready.
Brilliant. Shay was the one that didn't have any, because I know that Liam was going to gather people.
Yeah.
Shay, are you part of the gathering, or are you coming back alone? What do you think? What's your plan?
I'm part of the gathering and the shepherding of Reggie Crankshaft onto the ship.
Fantastic. So lead me through the shepherding, the two of you.
We want to be discreet about this.
Do you want me to get the bulk of who else is on board on board with the sloop? Is it just Klassen?
It's just Klassen. Munro was very low key on this one. She'd run some diagnostics on as the navigator. She had to run a lot of diagnostics and checking things out. She popped on briefly for some food and came back again. So it's the two of you and Klassen are still on board.
I agree. Definitely low key. Let's Do you wanna send a message? Should we send them a message or just try and find them?
Well, I know where he was. He was in the cafeteria. I did tell him to watch out for me tipping him the wink.
It's on the way, right? Let's should we run past the cafeteria? See if we can see him. We'll make our way to the cafeteria.
The cafeteria has very similar people that Gilly saw beforehand, including the guy talking with the Rupert. The people that are missing are Klassen and your boy Reggie. There are of course the toilets there, and a couple of sort of small such rooms, male female toilets, just off it, and a couple of little back rooms. One that's probably got mops and buckets in, probably one of those sort of rooms.
Well, I thought he'd be in here.
Yeah. I assume he knows what's in everyone's best interests. Just shoot him a message and say we're good to go now. It's got and Liam will do that, and he'll say we're all ready to leave. Ship is loaded. Misha already on board. And send him a message. Or some kind of communication.
Like 30 seconds pass, and you get a message back saying toilets. Full stop. Now. Full stop.
Well, when you gotta go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want me to say this one? Do you want to take this one? I'm easy.
Oh, let's just both go.
Makes sense.
And I was going to say I'm going to lead Liam into the toilets, but that sounds a bit suspect.
We're not Evan and Misha.
No.
We'll both go that way to meet. I assume we'll both go that way to meet Klassen.
Okay. You head towards the toilet, and you push on the door, and there appears to be, like when it's unlocked, it's open, but there's like the give of someone's back or foot or someone pushing slightly against it. And you hear a whisper from the other side saying, and it's in Klassen's voice, "Hawkins, that you?"
Yep. It's me and Liam. You going to let us in?
You feel the weight move aside, and the door slowly open. Just about enough to squeeze you through, though. It does not open full. As you step inside, you're greeted with the not-so-wonderful sight of what appears to be a blooded and gashed open Reggie Crankshaft laid dead on the floor. A deeply stabbed, not moving, potentially dead miner, and another miner laid back against the sinks, bleeding out, gasping, clutching at a stab wound to his chest. And Klassen, with a blade in his hand, blood over his face, looking less than pleased.
Luke, are there two miners, the two that were given the nod and left, or given a nod and left? I guess from Liam's perspective.
Liam, you recognise them as the two that got the nod. Gilly, you recognise them as the two that went past you in the corridor.
Shit.
Okay.
Did you walk in? Did you walk in on this, Klassen?
He was like, "No, I was in here, minding my own business at the urinal, 2 spaces down from your boy Crankshaft, as anyone should be. And these two came in, and suddenly they're all big about how he'd betrayed them or something like that. And then one of them stabbed Reggie. In fact, he sort of kicks the one that's still alive. This one killed Reggie. So this one has taken you 100 days.
Shay, do you want to? Do you want to ask the questions?
What did it mean? Betrayed them.
Who are you asking? To Klassen or the miner?
To Klassen.
He said, Miners are dicks. You know that film, Top Gun, with all the volleyball and the high fiving and the hoorahs and all that sort of stuff? That's them. And if one of them thinks one of them's shafted the other, it's like a frat house, you know? Part of the reason I didn't ever want to be part of it. You can't trust a miner.
Well, clearly.
Your boy Reggie was all right. He seemed all right. He weren't made for the world. Clearly ain't made for any world right now.
Ian fights, letting off a little sneaker.
But the other one turned on me. I managed to wrestle the blade out of him. But this ain't great. We got to get out of here quick or cover it up or something. Like, miners fight all the time, but it ain't a great metric, the three of us being in here, if you know what I mean.
No, I
Why'd you call us
suggest.
here? Sorry, go on.
No, I suggest we get out of here as quick as possible.
As this has been going on, Luke, can Liam kind of puts 2 and 2 together and comes up with like 7 or 8 or maybe 9. Can he start just searching through the body of Reggie and seeing if there's anything unusual?
You
He's not
can.
going to take anything unless it's, you know, blaringly obvious. But
Roll your education, please. Education is used for analysing and mentally challenging situations. I'm sure you can use pockets, so it's not mentally challenging.
if we're
Yeah,
analysing, can I use
analysing.
science.
No, you can't. Not at this point.
It's an analytical skill. Luke.
That's for looking into pockets.
So 3 plus 4 is a 7.
You root through his pockets, so he's got multiple in his jumpsuit. He's got sort of his trouser pockets. He's got some chest pockets and so on. And you check through a number. The only thing of interest you find, he's got the usual stuff. He's got ID like you, which his name is indeed Reggie Crankshaft, and his unit and his mining notification. It's all what you'd expect. There's a small like baggie of like crystal-like stuff which you recognise as the sort of drugs that, almost like a speed kind of drug that miners and that would use to get them through long shifts. It's quite a widespread thing. But other than that, nothing of note really.
Okay. Liam will. What would Liam know about Maitland and that? Is that a problem on their ships?
Dead bodies or drugs?
The drugs.
What you would know is you would only know what Klassen has told you, which he said earlier, which is generally if you can hide it and people don't know, then it's not an issue. You would expect that such things were assumed. These guys are working. These guys are working like 18-hour days. Do you know what I mean? They need something to get, and coffee is not going to get you through. Maitland would rather you were drugged up to your eyeballs and doing your 18-hour day and died young than got tired after 8 hours.
Bottom line. Liam will show it up to the rest of them and then go to put it back in the top pocket or wherever he found it, and he'll say to, I guess he says to Klassen, do we need to take care of this guy? He's seen all of us, right?
This guy being alive kind of brings us into the equation, more than otherwise. How bloodthirsty do either of you two feel?
Well, I'd say you're in it pretty deep. And if we don't finish this guy off, well, who knows what's going to happen. He's seen our faces now. He knows who we are.
You hear the miner sort of gasping at the back between his heavy breaths. He's like, I won't tell anyone.
I don't believe you somehow.
Neither do I.
I won't. I'll be in the. I'm in the corner of the galaxy.
It's not the corner we're worried about. It's this place. He gestures around to the dead bodies and presumably some amount of blood all over the place.
Liam, could you roll agility for me, please, and tell me the score?
Yes. Has this got anything to do with science or liaising?
No.
It's a 4 + 1 is a 5.
Okay. Klassen says, I don't trust him either. And he walks over and he finishes the job. And he says, right, now make sure no one comes in. And he sort of goes about as calmly as possible, washing his face and his hands and the blades of the knife and the hand, well, not the blade, the handle of the knife, and sort of trying to make it look something like an infight, which, to be fair, Crankshaft was killed by his own boys. Sort of trying to keep the scene as good as possible. And he says, Tatori, check no one's checking the toilets too tightly.
Yeah, sure. Watch your communicators. And Tatori he'll watch where he's stepping. He doesn't want to step in any blood and start leaving footprints or anything.
That's not the best thing to do.
He'll make his way out and wipe his hands down his top. Like he's drying them. They haven't quite dried properly. He's drying them after washing them, and then he'll make his way out into the cafeteria, have a little look around.
You get a ping through from Klassen, who messages through, sort of whispers on his radio through to you. It says, cause a scene, get people to look anywhere rather than this direction. We're coming out when you do.
Okay, no problem. Who's around in the cafeteria, Luke?
There's across 3 tables. There's about 8 miners. There's a few serving. There's a few serving Ruperts, but it's quite quiet now. A lot of the miners seem to have returned to their ship.
Liam will make his way to the serving hatch. They'll say, "Hey Rupert, what have we got today?"
Well, sir, we have 3 main dishes, which I told you. I told your crew members last time you were here, and he repeats exactly what it was last time because I can't remember, quite frankly, because that was weeks ago. But he repeats the 3 meals that were there to you: the brown goo and the I think there was yellow and the green.
Liam will he'll get quite irate and he'll start waving his tray around and banging it on the on like the tray rack. But like the same 3 things again. I told you last time I'm sick of these meals. When are we going to get something different?
So it's only
nothing but brown goop.
So it's only been 2 hours, sir.
Well, for me it has, but what about the rest of these? And he'll gesture around and he'll slam his tray down on the floor. It's inhumane, I tell you. It's horrible. Look at this. Would you eat this? What do you think it tastes like?
Roll your charisma and liaison.
It's 4 + 4 is 8.
Some of the miners, you start standing up, sort of one foot on the chair or on the table. Yeah, this is like our last meal before we're off for 25 years. Do better, Rupert. What is this? We'd expect more. Come on. Death row prisoners get better than this. And you seem to have gathered quite an uproar.
Liam will turn back to them and they'll say, "This Rupert can't even taste what you're eating. He doesn't even know." And he'll pick up some goop and he'll throw it at the Rupert.
Food fight.
I got caught up in my own ridiculousness.
Oh. Throw in agility, please.
Oh. That's a 1 + 1. It's a 2.
Well, you try and throw at the Rupert, but you miss horrifically, and it just splats against the side of the set.
Any good chef knows to taste the food before they serve it. They can't even do that.
But sir, I'm programmed with all the tastes of the world. I know exactly I have digitized versions of the combinations in my brain, sir. But it's too late. The crowd are already getting louder and louder. They've been on the edge. It's not been a wonderful station for them, and you've sort of easing them into this.
I hear he's got steak in the back fridge, and Liam will leap over the counter. And then feel free to leave it wherever you want.
I'll leave it as you jump over. Rupert is going. You hear him sort of on the radio going, "Yes, corporate liaison officer Mensa. One of the Nakura has gone crazy, sir."
Damn it, he recognised me.
But as that is happening, all the attention has been turned away from the toilets. Shay.
Okay. Are you all right, Klassen?
If it's true that Doturi has got a box full of whiskey, then I'll be all right by tonight. Yeah.
I believe he has.
In which case, I see no reason to stay here. This room of death.
No. Let's go. It sounds like there's a bit of a ruckus outside.
Okay. He's happy to follow you wherever you lead, just like his sister.
I will lead him out of the toilets and back into the cafeteria.
Fantastic. Could you roll an education for me, please?
Okay. That's a 5 plus a 2 is a 7.
Okay, that's enough. It was a lower check. You sort of, through your knowledge of the situation, you managed to sort of blend in to the group. No one seems, from what you can tell from your educated glances, no one saw you exit, and all you can see is Doturi throwing different coloured goos around in the kitchen, shouting something about steaks.
Wow, we asked for a distraction.
As you sort of leave through the hall, you see you pass Mensa, the liaison officer, who comes striding past you as you and Klassen head past, and you see him sort of trying not to shout, trying to be professional. Calling back, "Mr. Doturi, I saw you as the man who would take on my role after I have retired, but I'm seriously having second opinions about this."
Miners of all worlds, unite. You have nothing to lose but your brown bull. And he's still. He'll drop whatever he's doing at the voice of the liaison officer entering and look a little bit sheepish and get down off of wherever he is.
"Mr. Doturi, I am deeply upset about this. In the future, If your ship ever returns here, you shall not be allowed upon my station while I am in charge. Do you understand?
I,
Do you understand?
I understand, but please let me explain myself.
No, there's no explaining. It's going
If
to
you-
take... Ah. Yeah. Also, you will be fined 1 week of time for this.
a week.
Don't answer me back, boy.
If you just knew what I'd gone through the last few weeks, it's been check my service history. It's been horrific.
This will go down as a red mark on your service history. 1 week.
But
Mark it down. We will take it off you.
and Liam will get very, very low key very quickly and just. But I thought we were friends.
Roll a charisma check, please. A flat charisma check.
With liaison.
No.
It's a 5 plus 2 is a 7.
As you say that, Mensa sort of leans in closer and whispers. He says, I know. I like you too, but this is how it needs to be. Now, you need to get off the ship. Now go!
And Liam will lean out of the private conversation. Yes, sir, and make his way quickly towards the Mercury.
And that's the three of you scurry down the hallway. You're sort of hearing him shouting at the miners to calm down, and at the Ruperts to clean up. And as the three of you get on board, Munro radios through to you, Shay, saying, for some reason I've been told that we need to leave this place very quickly on orders of the station itself.
Yeah, we'll explain later.
Okay, come and join me and take us out.
Okay. On my way.
Luke, just for the notes, what's the name of this place?
This place is the Antilles, Antilles, Antilles Station.
Thank you. And how much is a week? Is that 7 days? Is that
7 days. That is a week. Well done. Oh, you're so smart.
Well, listen, it's an intergalactic week, isn't it? So
it's true. A rotation, as they call it, for a year, whatever.
Thanks.
And as Shay sits down, and Carla punches in the route for AMC, and everyone settles, and as Misha and Evan are enjoying the wide world of food tasting together in the mess. Misha not realizing that all his this schmoozing he's doing is all for nothing, and I see no crew members gone straight there to tell him as such.
No. To be fair, it'll eventually become clear, I'm sure.
We're going to take a break at this point. It seems a reasonable time, and I need a wee.
Okay.
That's the best one forever.
That makes sense.
Right, stick with us. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
Yeah, we'll do about another hour if everyone. Gilly, you all right for another hour or so when we come back?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Brilliant.
Cool. We'll do another
Okay.
hour, guys.
Wonderful.
Hello. Are we live? I hope we are. And I hope you're still with us. A couple of you joined just as we came back. What a treat for you all. Welcome to the second half. Well, I say half. It's not going to be as long as the first half of tonight's Those Dark Places with us, the boys from the Baltic Star, plus Gilly, the girl from the Baltic Star. That's your new official title. That's quite exciting.
Okay.
Oh, Jareel, we rely on you. You're the only reason we keep this going week after week after week. You're the one that we rely on for canon. Well, I say that. Anime Jugs is well into canon as well. You're like the pair of canoners. Right, where were we? We've just left Antilles Station. For Shay and Misha, they may one day return. For Liam, he can never go back. At least he can't while his dear friend Adjo Mensah's still working there. You could always kill him, of course, and you could go back. Bear that in mind.
He did say he was still my friend.
Yeah, that's true. People say
Mixed
that.
messages. Yeah.
Ben and I say that.
Too true, Luke. Too true.
Anyway, so your beloved Nakuru has left. Shay Hawking, who I didn't make roll a dice because you're quite good at putting the ship in first gear and driving away from places. So the Nakuru has moved away from the ship, and you haven't appeared to get any hails yet about anything that's happened in the bathroom. Nothing to do with you, of course. Nothing to do with you. And it's only when you sort of settle down, then you sort of, with the help of Munro, you point the ship in the right direction, and you bang it into top gear. That the lollygaggers arrive. We love it when the lollygaggers arrive. How are you guys doing? Mella. How was your stream tonight? I hope you had a really, really good time. What were you playing? See, I feel less pressure when the lollygaggers come in with Dark Places because they play Orbital Blues, and then I always feel stressed. I'm like, oh god, they're really good at it. More One Ring. Oh, nice. How's that going? Well, good game, that. Okay. Thank you. I hope that a few of you feel like you can stay for a little while as we continue on some sci-fi. We're going from fantasy to sci-fi, and we're very sci-fi right now. That is good, isn't it? We play it wrongly, and that's down to me. We did have some deaths in a toilet just now, though. We actually had some deaths, so that's quite rare. But we're very sci-fi right now because we're in our tiny little Nakuru, 55 meters by 23 meters, and we're pulling away from the Antilles Station into the vastness of space. Miller, it's very industrial. The ship, the Nakuru, was built by the person that gave the lowest quote. All the fixing has been done by the youngest and the least qualified engineers. There's rattling every time Shay turns a corner a bit too quickly. And you know that where the glass is in the cockpit on the bridge, between them and the vastness of space, that black rubber bit around the edge is coming away all the parts. So it's a bit nerve-wracking, but as things stand, it's okay. And so Shay points the ship in the direction as laid out by Munro of AMC 222, and the crew are finally able to sort of prepare themselves to head into a long sleep and so on. This is when you finally notice, after all that panic of getting off the station, that the corridors are rammed full of supplies. Whereas before the corridors were free to walk down a couple of meters wide, you're literally squeezing down them with boxes either side. Up to the roof. It's 2 meters high. As we remember, the corridors are very narrow and very low, adding to that sense of claustrophobia. And it's even worse now. There's boxes, there's bags, there's electrical equipment. There's all sorts of things down the full length of the ship. What you may notice as well is that any spacesuits have been replaced and repaired, which is good news for you guys. And all those straps that you wasted and ruined and lost have been replaced as well. You're fully back up to spec again. If you would even look in the cargo bay, you would assume, and you would be right if you assumed, that it is jam-packed. The picture as you see it, that's not it. It's literally 90% full of stuff right now. And as you know, the cargo bay is 4 meters high. It's twice as high. And it is floor to ceiling. Because you need to bring enough supplies to that mining colony to last them for years. And that is what you're doing. If you were driving a car right now, the suspension would be incredibly low. You'll be dragging over every speed bump in town. Luckily for you, there are no speed bumps in space. And so, as we will join Misha, as Evan, after trying his 4th different type of coffee, spitting it out like a wine connoisseur, turns to you and he says, "Thank you, Renkov. I've had a wonderful time, but why now? Why share this time with me? You always seem to shun me."
We were the only 2 people in the area.
People.
Are you saying if you were the only boy in the world and I was the only droid?
No, I'm saying if there'd been another actual human around, I'd probably have spoken to them instead.
Oh. Do you really hate us, Sams, Renkov?
No. I love some people and I hate some people. Nothing, all appliances.
Is that how you see me, just as an appliance?
A very sophisticated one.
Well, in some ways, Renkov, you're right, but even humans are machines, really, are they not? Their body's set up to complete certain tasks in certain ways. They break down and replacements are needed at times.
It's an interesting and incorrect way to look at it.
We're not that different, you and I.
You say that, but I would like to believe that there are certain things that you can do that I cannot. You can survive in a hard vacuum, remain awake for as long as you need to. But there are also things that I can do that you cannot.
Like love.
That's certainly one of them.
Juggle?
Agility 2.
You give me much to think about in the 84 days while the rest of you are in long sleep and I just roam the ship doing my tasks for the corporation. Thank you, Renkov. You're a true friend.
Always happy to help.
And Evan stands up and he walks towards the exit of the mess. And he says, "Come through. I need to prepare for long sleep. If you and the others need to complete any tasks or do anything, you have a couple of hours before I'm ready for you." And
Okay.
He exits.
I'm going to make my way up to the bridge where I assume Shay is at the moment.
Unless you've run off anywhere, Gilly.
No, I'm still at the helm.
Okay. I'm
She
going to
wants
walk
a
in
pro.
and cast sort of eye left and right, see who's here.
It is Gilly. It is Munro. Liam, you there?
Liam made his way to the mess.
And Klassen is noticeable by his absence as well.
Surely that's
it's-
unnoticeable.
Well, maybe for you. Some people like him. They're just not on the ship.
Okay. I will walk up to right next to Shay's shoulder and glance across and say, "All good?"
No, not good. let's just say we won't be getting our time.
Oh. Okay. All right.
You notice Monroe put her headphones on and start listening to her personal music player at this point.
Good old Mum.
That's well, disappointing. Still, I suppose it's one less worry.
Yeah, there is that.
Yeah. Okay. You need me for anything, or should I go and get you a tea?
Something stronger would be nice.
I'll see if I can track down Liam and his box of magic tricks.
That is a very good idea.
So I shall wander back out and head down looking for Liam.
Okay. As you head down, you'll notice that Long Sleep 1 is empty. Long Sleep 2, Evan is in it, sort of doing stuff to the chambers, preparing them. You head to the crossroads. You hear nothing from security crew, and you notice that through the hatch in the mess that you do see Liam sat at the chair, luckily enough, at the angle that you can see him, because he is indeed in there.
Okay. I'll wander in. Is he alone in there?
He is alone in there.
Okay. I shall sit down opposite him and say, I hear we are not with the new passenger.
Liam takes a deep sip of his cup of coffee that he's got in front of him and says, "That's about right."
Excellent. Okay. I got the impression from Shay that she's been through a bit of a traumatic moment. Did you take delivery of any of that whiskey?
No. I wish I had. If I'm honest, the ship was probably a much better place to be.
Okay.
I've tried. Yeah, if you find it, let me know.
I shall search high and low. And in the meantime, I shall wander over and make a cup of tea out of like 11 tea bags.
Oh, an 11 bagger. That's good.
And then take it up to up to Shay, hand it over with a sort of slightly apologetic wince, and say, "It's the best I could do."
Well, that's very thoughtful, Misha. Thank you. And she will sort of take a sip, pull her face, and put it on the side.
It's almost
The
tea syrup.
appropriate reaction.
Yeah.
Off the bags are still floating around in it. It's like trying to drink liquid out of like a vacuum cleaner bag at that point.
It's more or less Bovril, isn't it? With 11 mags, let's be honest.
The mug is darker than the space outside. That's the worry. Space Bovril.
And the space inside.
Yeah, when they say black tea. Yes, this is sort of, to coin a phrase, black tar Darjeeling.
Unless you've got anything in particular, Evan is happy to prepare long sleeps for you.
Liam will go find Evan at some point.
Evan is in long sleep. He finishes in long sleep 1. By the time you get to him after finishing your time in the mess, he's in long sleep 1, preparing what would in fact be your pod. Liam.
Hey, Evan, I'm glad I caught you.
Daturi, how are you?
Yeah, fine, thanks. Can you do me a favour?
Mm-hmm.
Can you?
Sorry. Yes.
Oh, I thought we were getting familiar then.
Well,
Could you? Can you hold off on my long sleep for a day? It's been a bit. It's been a bit of a. It's been a bit of a roller coaster. Over there on the Antilles. I could do with just a bit of downtime before I go into long sleep.
it's very uncommon.
I appreciate that. Listen, I won't consume any more supplies other than the box that was addressed to me.
Ah, the box. I put that in medical for you, Deterring.
Thanks. I'll check it out. But that's all I'll touch. I won't use any of that. It won't cost Maitland any more to keep me awake for a day. Is all I'm saying.
Okay. I will contact Maitland, but I would expect that they would be okay with that if you kept your consumption down.
Thanks. And then he'll wander off and he'll find the box. Or he'll try to find the box.
You head into medical, and as you zing in, you see the box in the middle of the floor. It's open, and it's missing one bottle, and that's because that bottle is in the hand of Eddie Klassen, who is laid out on the bed in medical. The bottle is at least 2/3 empty, and he is at quite away with the fairies. He stares up blurrily at you as you enter. Rankov! You come for your booze. It's good booze. You don't mind, do you? We're taking my share now. Is that all right?
Listen, I don't mind, but just so we're clear, I'm not Rankov.
Hawkins?
Yeah. No. Listen, you
But you're
do
not.
what-
No, not Evan. Deturi!
That's the one. That's the one. Klassen.
Oh, man. Have you ever killed a man, Deturi? It's horrible.
I don't think I feel comfortable discussing. It sounds horrible.
Every time it gets no easier. It gets harder.
As this conversation is going on, can Liam have a little look in the crate? What are we talking total here?
It was a 9-bottle crate. You got 8 left.
Okay, cool. He'll pick another bottle out and he'll say, "Listen, it sounds horrific," and he'll stick another bottle down next to Klassen.
I only do it for the crew, I don't want to do these things. 25 years, man. Let's all get there, yeah? Let's all get there.
It's a simple thing, right? You come aboard a ship, you do a few jobs, you tick off your debt, and then you walk out the other end. But I haven't experienced, but it seems very not that simple.
When we get back to Titan, you and me, we're going to get Nakuri tattoos together, all right?
Yes. I tell you what. As long as it's not my beautiful face,
I wouldn't force that on you.
you've got a deal.
It is a very beautiful face. Beautiful sideburns.
And I'll give him a little tap round the cheek. Thanks, Eddie.
Man, it sucks, doesn't it? What way of life.
The funny thing is, I thought I had a retirement plan sorted out halfway through that trip. I was looking at the good life with brown gruel and no slime on the walls for a long old time when I'm done here.
To be honest, my retirement plan was that I was planning to be dead before I got there. I guess there's still time, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know what to do with myself after this. He picks up his he drags himself off the bed and he grabs his sort of last remaining dregs of the bottle and the other bottle you gave him. He said, "Right, these can keep me company in long sleep. You coming?"
First, I'm gonna share out the rest of this stuff. You shoot off. I'm gonna go find Misha and Shay. I'll see you on the other side, though, right?
No, you'll see me on the other side.
Don't
And he
wait
walks
yourself.
I'm not the one you need to be worried about. He walks past, he sort of claps you on the shoulder as he goes past, and he staggers off down the corridor to what you'd expect would be long sleep. Are all of you, apart from the Turi, going into long sleep?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's my plan.
So at this point, we will do that for the sake of the game, I guess. And Evan comes round. He puts Renkov and Hawkins. He puts into long sleep one, along with Munro.
All right.
It's like he realizes that Klassen is so drunk that he won't realize who's in with him or not, if that makes sense.
Sure.
So the two of you and Munro slip into your long sleep, sort of get changed into what you wear for it, and you feel that moment where it cools right down and you hear your breathing echoing in your ears, and then you hear the heart beating, and then the movement outside that you see from Evan seems to sort of freeze, and then you drift off into a mixture of beautiful and terrifying dreams.
Okay.
Leaving Renkov and the only human awake. Dotori, sorry. Dotori, the only human awake. I keep looking at that. It's because your head's right next to Renkov.
That's okay. I mean, it worked when it was Klassen.
Slightly
meant
more
for-
worrying when it's the guy.
I led
It was
into
meant
it.
for Klassen. It's not
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
That's the problem. Did you literally just want it for storyline downtime?
Yeah, kind of. Dotori is just gonna. He's gonna put the bottle of or the crate of 5 remaining bottles, 2 for Klassen and 1 for him, somewhere in the mess area. He'll sit down and he'll casually make his way through his bottle, and I suppose at some point he'll make his way to the front of the ship, and he'll just start hailing out to people on random frequencies, like no one in particular, just Nakuri, and just going through some personal stuff over the radio to no one, essentially. Feeling a bit sorry for himself that he's secured a retirement place and then lost it very quickly. But he'll finish the bottle and eventually make his way to long sleep.
And Evan, who you've noticed has been conspicuous by his absence, almost as if he's learnt when to leave humans alone if not needed, sort of appears as you enter long sleep 2, and wordlessly he helps you in, and he closes it down and connects all their stuff to you, and you, as the other two, feel that the coolness and the breathing and the heart beating in your ears. And as you went in quite drunk, you're dreamless. And time passes, but none of you know, for you're frozen in the sleep. And it's only Hawkins, who's always woken first as the helm officer. It's only Hawkins when you feel a slight warmth rush back into your lungs and life into your body. And I've picked one number on a D6, which you're probably going to roll statistically. Could you roll a D6 for me?
It's
Nice
a
support
1.
roll. to 1. Which, believe it or not, is not the number.
Oh my goodness.
And Shay Hawkins has broken her streak. And there's a moment where you're there and you're like, oh,
Woohoo!
I'm kind of dry.
Nice.
And Evan looks down at you and he gives like a proud nod. Briefly. And then he moves on to ready other people. And he's like, Hawkins, when you're ready and you're feeling up to it, the bridge is waiting for you.
Okay. I will get dressed and go to the bridge.
Fantastic. So what you notice as you go to the bridge is you're in a very different part of space. The thanks, Anime Jugs. You take care. Thanks for staying so late as well, because you rolled 2 hours earlier than us. So I appreciate that. Big shout out to anyone that's 2 hours before us.
Yeah. Sure.
You can see in your distance a star, a very bright star in this system, and you've come out a jump near a planet, not the planet that you're meant for, it must be said. But a quick bit of tippity-tapping around as Munro joins you a few minutes later tells you that you are indeed in the station, the system you need, which I need to bear with me. Yeah. You are in Gliese. The gas giant is, sorry, the system is Gliese 667. So GLIESE 667. So, which was your original mission all along, and you finally made it, despite a few sort of jumps here and there and everywhere. And you know that you need to go to the AMC 222 is on a moon in orbit around the gas giant Gliese 3, and you've come out in like Gliese 6. So you're much further out of the system. So there's no roles needed for you right now, but you are very much the eyes of the crew as it stands. Is there anything particular you need to do at this point, or are you happy just to sit in the chair for the time being?
I'm happy just to sit in the chair and wake up a bit, I think.
Yes, very, very good. Munro looks over to you and says, do you need a coffee or something?
Well, if you're making one.
Love it.
That's the price of admission. Munro grins at you, and she heads off back and out of sight, and returns a few minutes later with what the Nakuru offers as close to coffee as possible.
Thanks. Right now it'll be nectar.
I bet it would be. I can only imagine long sleep in a controlled environment would leave you with a very dry throat, even with sort of nutrients going in and stuff. So as the two of you sit there, the next person out in the order of importance, of course, is engineering, which is Renkov.
Okay.
And as always, Renkov wakes up with Evan's eyes gazing upon him.
Of course.
Renkov. Wait, you looked so peaceful. Could you roll a d6, please?
I can. That is a 6.
And then he looks down at your groin and he goes, "Oh, maybe too peaceful." I judge no human, Renkov.
Cool.
But maybe he laughs at you. I too suffer from those from time to time. Yeah. It's a common ailment, Renkov. Think nothing of it.
I hop out of the pod and shuffle over to the sort of crew area to change.
Yep, perfect. And Evan goes about it. He goes down. The next person Security would generally be the last choice, especially in a system. You don't need it so much. So the next person would be liaison in case you need to talk to anyone when you come into system. And so he springs open Deturi. Now, Deturi, you went in drunk or having drunk. So there's 2 numbers for you
What?
of the chance of wetting yourself during long sleep.
It's like Home Alone. There's the kid that drinks too much before going to bed.
So for you, it's a 5 or 6.
Oh. That's a 2.
Did you survive? Well done, you. And for those watching, I've not made this up. It's part of the rules. In long sleep, for those dark places, there is a chance of wetting yourself when you wake up. It's a common thing. It's a 1 in 6 chance. So everyone will have done it multiple times during their picking. It says, "How's your head, Deturi?"
It's alright. Thanks, Evan. How's the ship? We good?
The ship has been running fine. We've made perfect time. Exactly as planned. Get yourself ready. I'm sure those in charge at AMC 222 will be in contact as we draw closer.
And he'll make his way, I guess, to the bridge. If he passes Misha, he'll mention the supply in the mess. Just how I left everyone's share in the mess. Evan put it in medical for some reason. Seems off, but I guess it could be medicinal.
I guess if you're not alive, the chemicals would count as medicine, I guess.
Yeah, makes sense.
Absolutely, Ben. It started with the incontinence and they just built a game around it. They realised no one would buy it for that. Shay, could you make a roll for me, please? Could you make an agility roll and you can add your helm, please? And I'm going to make a roll for Carla. I need to check Carla's stats, actually.
Okay, I rolled a 1, but I've got 4 agility and 2 helm, so that's a 7.
Okay. So working together with Munro, who's immediately on it. She's more focused than you've seen before. I don't know if it's because she was more refreshed because she didn't suffer all the stuff that you went through on the station. She is like leading you by the hand. It's like a velvet glove on your hand. And despite some slight judderiness from you, you make your way through the system perfectly. Really, the 2 of you are teamwork makes the dream work. A phrase is perfect for it. To the point, she even offers you a fist bump at one point.
Nice, I'll return the fist bump.
Roll agility for me, please.
As long as you don't wet yourself during it, you're fine.
That's a 3 plus a 4 is a 7.
Okay, you pretty much make it. It's slightly awkward in that she goes for a fist bump and you almost try and do a high five, so you sort of almost cap the hand, but she sort of gets what you're doing and she appreciates it. And you're a good team up front. It's probably the strongest part of the crew is the bridge crew, I would say. And I'm sure Chat would agree with me.
Pretty much.
Yeah. She smiles at you and says, "We're getting close to AMC 222, around Gleesa 3. If you could put into orbit around Gleesa 3, we can get into contact."
Okay.
And so could you roll, an agility with helm, please, because this will affect something to do with deterring.
That's a 5 plus 6 is an 11.
Oh, it's like the awkward fist bump spurred you on into glory. You like ease into high orbit with the greatest of ease. And a few minutes pass, and on Deturi's console, you start getting the ping that you would be expecting.
One ping only.
Many pings, repeated pings.
Liam will answer. Hello, this is the Nakuri.
Hello, Nakuru. This is AMC 222. Do you hear me?
Roger that, AMC 222.
My name is Station Manager Flock, FLOCK. Thank you for your arrival, your timely arrival, and for your supplies, and for your help. I believe a briefing will be coming your way through Maitland shortly. Until then, please approach AMC 222. Above us, we are on the moon above Gliesa 3. You need to dock with a ship called the Grahams. First and foremost, do you understand, Nakuru?
Confirm understood, AMC 222.
Splendid. We shall see you soon. Safe docking.
Sure. Luke, in my head, I'm assuming this is all over some form of loudspeaker.
Yes.
Liam will turn to Shay and say, "Did you get that, Graham's?"
Yep, got it.
Perfect. And he'll sit back in his chair and relax. I guess his job apparently done.
He's so good at it. Isn't he? He's the behind the bridge crew and the brown goo dispenser. Liaison's definitely the third strongest part of the crew, I'd say. So at this point, Evan walks in, and he's got that faraway look in his face, and he says, "Receiving briefing from Maitland Corporation. Briefing begins in 1 minute. All available crew to the bridge. All available crew to the bridge."
A few seconds later, Misha stumbles in holding a mug of tea and sort of leans against the bulkhead.
Okay, Klassen wanders in as well. He appears to have a glass of water with some pills fizzing in him, and he looks a bit miserable, quite frankly.
Eddie, what's a 3-month hangover like?
Oh man, you should have. To be honest, I've done worse. I did a year jaunt at one point. That is just. I think of the biggest party you ever had for someone's 18th, and multiply that by 4 or 5.
Wow. That's horrifying.
And then he holds his arms out and he says, "But at least I didn't wet myself. Not this time, at least."
You're such a winner.
Victories are measured in very small numbers.
What's your record now? How many long sleeps, no wet?
Oh man, 18-4.
Not bad.
It's not bad. Pretty average, I'd say. Munro's unbeaten. I don't know what it is. Iron bladder, that girl.
It's all luck of the draw.
And as you're sort of bantering, Evan walks into the middle, and his eyes roll back, as you know, from when Maitland made contact. And his voice changes and his demeanor changes. And he starts. Asteroid mining catch 222 in the Gliese 667 system has sent out an emergency request for assistance. Nakuru, you were tasked with restocking. However, you are the only ship within 70 days of the system and must fulfill this request. 2 members of staff deceased, probably murdered. Another member missing. After the station started a new mining shaft, 2 workers were found mutilated in the mine, and there appears to be foul play in the disappearance of the 3rd. Attached is what we know to this message. But these deep space mining facilities don't have the best transmitters, so data package is small. There should be enough information to give you an idea of what's going on. Maitland Corporation are keen to get this resolved and the mining station back to full productivity as soon as possible. The facility manager Flock is doing her best to get the workers back on track, but there's a lot of unrest from what we can tell. She wants the mining to resume before bonuses are lost, but the miners are somewhat reluctant to get back to work, what with 2 dead and 1 missing and no explanation. It is not an accident, and her attempt to explain it away, as the missing worker was killed by others and then spaced herself, because there's no sign of her anywhere, has not gone down well. You must get to AMC 222. You must find out what happened, and most importantly, you must get them back on schedule. Maitland out. And there's a moment where Evan pauses and his eyes roll back and he sort of shakes his head. And he says, I have been sent information. Is there anything the crew wishes to know?
Him or wait a minute to see if anyone says anything, and then
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay. Daturi. Renkov.
Where's the whiskey?
I left the whiskey in medical. Last I looked, it has been moved.
I
Medical feels like the right place for the chemical mixture.
moved it to the mess.
Excellent.
See, and he'll turn to Evan and just say it's a human thing.
Ah, I see.
And then he'll give it another moment of time.
Yeah. So can I just quickly check something? We've got 2 dead, mutilated miners.
Correct.
1 missing,
Correct.
and they're missing on the mine on the surface.
That is what we've been told.
Right, and the Graham is orbiting the planet. Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay. And we're supposed to dock with the Graham in order to drop off supplies. Is that right, or take them down to the surface?
That is correct. From what I believe, and from the message from Flock, the Graham is the pathway through to the station as it stands. Dock
Okay.
with the Graham first.
So
There is no, from what Maitland can tell, and from my calculations, there appears to be no threat aboard the Graham.
Right, but those are the same calculations that said things like this is a straightforward delivery mission, right?
Parameters change, Renkov.
Yeah, yeah. Excellent. Okay. I don't know who's with me on this, but I think we just push the supplies out of the airlock in the general direction of the Graham, and then we set off in the opposite direction as fast as we can. Who's with me?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
The supplies are great, but we also have to get them back on schedule, right? What's the schedule we're talking about? When and what
Just
has to be
calculate.
done?
Just calculating the Turi, and Evans pauses for a minute, and he says, "AMC 222 in the Glisa 666 system.
667.
667. Sorry, 667. It's late.
It's alright. Don't worry.
Blame Evan. It's all on Evan.
I assume it was a glitch.
Thank you. It was a glitch. Mine's cerium, which is Cerium. Cerium. Element found throughout explored space. Much sought after. AMC 222, much sought after source. Offline status is costing Maitland company money, inconveniencing local buyers, forcing them to spend money, bringing in from other corporations. As it stands, if AMC 222 is brought back online within a week, Maitland sees losses as negligible. Aim for company is to bring AMC 222 back to full production within a week and as soon as possible.
Thanks, Evan. So, technically speaking, as long as they hit full productivity within 1 week, they're back on schedule,
Correct.
regardless of what happens after.
Miners can always be encouraged to work longer days.
Liam stays quiet at this point.
So this is Operation Certain Death once again, right?
I'm going to be honest, it feels less certain death than some things we've jumped into at this point.
Yeah, it's just that the last one was damn near certain death, and when we first approached it, we didn't know that anyone was hurt. This time we know that one person's missing and two are already dead and horribly mutilated. So already it seems more dangerous. But
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, the track record isn't great.
how many years will you give us for this one?
Roll for me, Ben, as you asked. As you were the one that asked.
Okay.
Your charisma with any liaison skills that you personally have.
I have a charisma of 1 and no liaison skills. This can only end brilliantly. I rolled a 3, so that's a total of 4.
There's a pause. Evan says, I shall send it up to Maitland.
during the pause, Liam will say, "Be sure to make them aware of the losses during the time of inactivity."
Answer received.
Mhm.
Crew have banked 340 days so far, with 247 more days to be paid on their return to Titan, totaling 587 days. For successful completion of mission, solving problems, returning AMC 222 to full mining capacity within a week, Maitland, with thanks, shall provide you with 900 days in total.
That's over a year.
For entire trip so far.
Hey Evan, how about we drop the thanks and they call it 1,000?
Roll your charisma
Oh,
for
Luke,
liaison.
you're a legend. Thanks. That's 5 plus 4 is 9.
That's better.
I was not expecting a roll, but
There's a pause. If Nakuru fully restocks AMC 222, returns back to Titan, ensures full mining within 3 days, 1,000 days will be paid.
how long's the trip back to Titan? Liam looks around to everyone else.
Oh, that's like 200 days or something. It's quite long.
Okay, so it's not including the trip back.
No, basically they're offering us 300 and something for a week and 400 and something for 3 days.
Yeah. Cool.
Basically, everything added up so far, everything you've done to this point. So all your stuff to like the first system with Gilly nearly dying and then you nearly running out of oxygen and then on board the Algernon and all that sort of stuff. And now, and back to Titan.
Yeah.
It will give you 1,000 days if you get this thing done in 3, which is you're up a couple of 100 days, pretty much.
Thanks, Evan. That seems reasonable.
Which, to be honest, isn't bad for basically 7 days worth of work.
Yeah. 100 extra days to cut it short.
I mean, to be fair, it's a reasonable deal, which makes me immediately distrusted.
Yeah.
Evan ignores the two of you and turns to Munro and Hawkins and says, Hawkins, Munro, please dock us with the Grahams.
Okay.
Munro taps some things. She finds the Grahams. So around Gliesa 3, which is a massive gas giant, it's like twice the size of Jupiter. And it has a number of moons. And one of them does indeed ping up as having AMC 222 on it, which is a mining station which is sort of almost been bored onto the rock of the moon. So it's sort of the first couple of floors are above ground and the rest sort of bores down in. And sort of hovering almost above it, sort of matching its orbit, is a small ship, well, it's bigger than yours, called the Grahams, which pings up. And Munro turns to you, Hawkins, says, I spotted it, Grahams. How you feeling? You feeling skilled?
As always.
Girl. Let's prove these guys. Look, we're the strongest part of the team.
They're definitely the A team on this crew, yes.
And so could you roll your agility plus your helm, please?
Yeah. That's a 3 plus 6 is a 9.
I, just showing your skill as always. You're almost showing off as using the thrusters, of the main thrusters, and a couple of sort of side thrusters to puff it in. It's poetic as you draw alongside the Grahams, and you manage to make your airlocks almost kiss with their airlock. Just those few meters away, and to extend your sort of the umbilical across. And there's a clunk and a hiss as the two ships are sort of hiss together with the umbilicals. And crackling over the radio, Liam, you hear, this is Maitland's AMC 222 Minor Callahan. That's Callagham. I am the ranking crewmate aboard the Grahams. Welcome. You are free to enter. And that is where we shall finish for this evening.
Excellent. Good place.
Exactly. I feel ready. I feel ready for the next episode.
With a new ship to explore.
Exactly.
Yeah,
We're ready to roll.
You never know. Maybe they have yellow goop food.
Mm.
That's quite fancy. That's quite rare. That's for the hoi polloi.
The yellow goop canapes.
But they might have yellow goop, but will they offer it to you? That's the question.
Fair.
Yeah. Yeah. I was very excited about the brown goop. Yes, Jareel, that's a brilliant line.
I think that was the tasty. I think the brown one was the tasty one, if I remember correctly.
Welcome to my house. Enter freely and of your own will. Absolutely.
It's going to end well.
Oh, we are so doomed.
We'll be fine. You've been fine so far. No one's died yet. No, none of you, anyway.
It's true. Just a change of underpants.
We should keep a tally of that, by the way, because
yeah,
they're racking up.
Well, I said Klassen's got his. You need to keep your ratios now. Gilly's 1 and 2. That's pretty good.
I'm 2 and 1.
2 and 1. 3 and 0 for the Turi.
Yeah, Liam is yet
to evacuate. Yours.
That's quite a phrasing.
I'm seriously questioning whether I need to add it to the character sheet.
Extra pop. There should be one there, to be honest.
I think at least a tally chart would be.
It's like bladder rolls attempted, bladder rolls succeeded.
Yeah.
If I can get the graphics working, if I can get my internet working again for the next time we do, which hopefully will be soon, I could add it below your +2 and +1. There's a space there. 3 and 0, 1 and 2, 2 and 1.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah, it's good. I like it.
Yes.
But I say for the next time, we've got a few weeks before then, of course, and during that is Christmas. And of all of us, Gilly is the most excited about Christmas. She's like a little Christmas beastie.
Yeah. But who's the busiest at Christmas, Luke? What would you say?
Ben, because he's got to give out all the milk tray to all the naughty girls.
But how many milk trays? That's a lot of milk trays.
It's a lot of milk tray.
Yeah. It's going to be exhausting.
Santa Ben. Yeah. I will be dragged up at about 6 in the morning by my kids, but I can probably go back to sleep for another hour, whereas Ben is non-stop at that point.
Wait, there's a 6 in the morning? When did that happen?
Apparently so. I'm only once a year as far as I'm
I
concerned.
was not consulted about this.
There's 1 6 in the morning every year. That's Christmas Day. You don't need to worry about that now. It's all right. But that's only a week away, and so
It's close.
thank you, dear viewers. So what? So over the coming weeks, so a lot of streams are doing. Christmas is a funny time for streams. And it's a funny time for us. You may have noticed we've had some funny weeks coming up. Next week is no different. So my plan is to Cyberpunk on Thursday, which is, what date's that?
That's the 22nd, Luke. Is that the plan?
Yeah, 22nd
No,
is Thursday.
that's not the plan.
That's
Ewan.
not the plan, Luke.
Oh,
What are you
no.
talking about?
I'm so embarrassed. So what's happening?
Sorry,
On the
Gilly,
22nd.
We're eking it out.
Gilly, on the 22nd, there's a friend of mine, Ewan, and Ben's, who's coming back down. He's spending the night with Ben. Not the night. Hang on. That's how rumours start. I think you're spending time with him on the 21st, Ben.
Yes.
He's everything with Ben.
Yes, we're having a meal together on the 21st.
And then myself, Ewan, and him on the 22nd. And then after that, Ewan and I are going to come back to my house, very drunk but very quiet. My kids will be asleep. And we're going to play the most annoying 2-player video game there's ever been. I can't remember what it's called. It's the one in space where you're just puffing yourselves around in 0G, moving your arms and legs. And we're going to be horrific at it. And so join us for that. So if you want a giggle with 2 idiots playing a game they're not good at. I played one level by myself, and it took me half an hour to do like a 5-minute level, and I was close to crying. So that's how much I look forward to. It's honestly, it's the most frustrating game ever. I couldn't open a door. I tried to open a door, and then I just pinged off in the wrong
I
direction.
tell you, do not underestimate doors. Doors will kill you.
And then 23rd is the season finale of Traveller.
Yes,
It is a season
we will be doing the season finale on the 23rd, wrapping up season 2.
Yes, let's look it up. Something to look forward to. 24th, me and Ewan are doing something. We'll decide. Well, it'll be well cool though. It's well worth it. We might find someone to join us. I don't know if someone's available on the 24th. We'll do something. Well, we'll work it out.
If you are, hit us up in our. Well, anyway,
come up with a story. We'll like come up with a one shot. We make things up as we go along. Like, you might have noticed that by now. We can come up with something. It's all right.
Yeah,
it's just 25th is Sunday. It's Sunday, isn't it? Saturday, Sunday, Sunday. Christmas is
Sunday.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
and then
Christmas Eve is Saturday.
Yes, that's right.
Into Sunday.
So there we go. And I've got the Quarry, which is a horror game, and I might start that. I might bring back Spooky Sunday, Ben.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff over Christmas.
Yeah. So are you doing Cyberpunk on Monday first?
Yes.
That is the first thing, isn't it?
Yes, that is. Cyberpunk Monday.
An extra thing on Wednesday.
What's Wednesday?
Sorry, Thursday.
Oh, cool. Yeah, me and you attacking each other on Thursday.
Yep. Yeah. And then Traveller on Friday.
And then a short, weird stream on Saturday with you and myself.
Yeah.
Okay. That sounds very good to me. And for tonight, thank you very much, Gilly. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me again.
It's been a journey. I'm going to be honest. Just for me.
Been emotional.
I'm Gilly just sitting there listening to us rabble on.
I'm disappointed you didn't brutally stab the guy in the bathroom. I set it up for you. What went wrong?
Who are you talking to, Luke?
Gilly.
Oh, I was about to, and then Klassen stole my thunder, so I was just like, oh, okay.
Oh, Klassen.
Oh, no. I'll set up a brutal moment for you next time, all right? There'll be lots of murder opportunities for you next time. I know that's what you're all about.
Murder hobo, that's me.
Yes.
But we do very much appreciate the sense of what's the right word here, Luke and Ben? Normality that you bring to the boys from the Baltic Star Stream.
I've never brought normality to anything.
Well,
you're bringing something.
Perhaps.
I don't know what it is.
But it is very, very much appreciated. For sure.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for watching or catching up on VOD, as we know, Neil before VOD. So we will bid you a very good night, and hopefully some or many will be able to join Luke for a bit of Cyberpunk on Monday, and then some madness on Thursday.
Thursday's going to do my head in.
It's going to be fun.
Oh, I'm going to be so drunk.
Thank you very
It's
much, and good night to everyone.
Good night.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.